Who knew there was such a big crossover between Gerry Anderson fans and fans of Mischief?
I mean, a Thunderbirds play that went wrong, it would be fun.
Well, I think ITV hold the rights, so...
But it would be a very clever way of cutting the budget. 5, 4,
Excellent.
3,
We like it when this happens.
1.
Anything can happen in the next half hour.
Henry Shields, thank you so much for joining us.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Welcome to the Gerry Anderson Podcast.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, we know that our viewers and listeners are big fans because we have a Facebook group. And on that Facebook group, whenever we have a guest, I say, we've got such and such coming on, and if you have any questions for them, do leave them below and we'll make sure that we read them out. Well, inundated with questions.
Oh, great.
About your work with Mischief, about your TV work, and about stage work. So we'll be hearing from those a little later on, if that's okay.
Okay.
But firstly, it's the Gerry Anderson Podcast, so being honest, what's your Gerry Anderson knowledge like?
Oh, next to nothing. I watched, I was aware of Thunderbirds. As a kid, watched a bit of it. I definitely had the toys, so I can lay claim to that.
I mean, you've been playing with a Stingray.
I have been playing with a Stingray. I never had a Stingray,
But
actually.
ring some bells, does it? You know of
definitely.
Stingray.
I know what Stingray is, different thing. But I did have the Thunderbird toys. I had, 1 through 5.
Yeah.
And I did make a Tracy Island, a Blue Peter Tracy Island.
Did you?
Which,
Wow.
I'm sure everyone, whoever comes on the show
People
has
of
made
a
one.
certain generation, absolutely. And some of them still have them in their attic as well.
Mine didn't keep.
No. Shame. Do you have any of the toys still?
I think they're probably at home. My mum probably has them in a box somewhere.
Yeah.
I could go and dig them out.
Isn't it funny, though, when you have a range of toys as a kid, but you don't have that connection with the series?
Yeah.
So they're just toys.
Yeah, exactly. And I was really obsessed with them. I played with them a lot, but I never really watched the show.
Yeah.
I think it was just the sort of the way they, particularly, I think is it the little one is number 4?
Yes.
That comes out of number 2?
That's it.
This is my knowledge.
That's very good.
This is the length and breadth of my knowledge. So this is the end of it.
Well, we'll finish it there, shall we? Thank you so much for joining us, Henry Shields.
Pleasure.
But
the 4 coming out of 2, that little bit of engineering, I love that so much.
Yes.
And just played with that endlessly.
Very often, particularly with fans of Thunderbirds, I think, there are certain people who appreciate it for the plots and the characters and the relationships and so on, but for a lot of people, it's the craft.
Right.
It's the vehicles. They are the stars of the show.
That was what it was for me.
Yes.
And I watched a little bit of Thunderbirds, but I think, being totally honest, I found it a bit scary as a kid. I was slightly freaked out by it.
Is that because of the way the puppets looked?
Yeah, I think it was the look of the puppets and something about the sort of uncanny valley of it just freaked me out as a kid.
Yeah.
Now I don't. I can see it and enjoy it, but I think I was a little bit scared.
Rather famously, to a Gerry Anderson fan, there was a series called The Secret Service, which mixed Supermarination, the puppets, and live action, real actors.
Interesting.
From scene to scene.
Was that scary? It sounds scary.
Weird. Ran for one
weird,
series and was then cancelled.
Really?
Yes.
Because that puts it in a really strange space where the puppets and the people are the same size in your head. And that's all really creepy.
Exactly. And basically they used human actors for all the kind of distance action shots of them getting onto motorbikes and getting into cars and things. And then you'd cut to them in close-up and it would be a puppet.
Oh, that's so weird.
Very, very strange.
I kind of want to watch that now. That sounds fun.
Well, hey, it's out there.
Yeah.
So what else were you watching? So we mentioned a brief knowledge of Thunderbirds. What were you watching as a child then in the 90s, I guess?
In the 90s, yeah. I have a really bad memory, but I will try and remember. I think Pingu was a big part of my childhood.
Pingu.
Love Pingu.
Yeah.
And Wallace and Gromit. I think there's a claymation obsession going on somewhat.
Interesting.
I also had a lot of plasticine models and things at home that I used to play with, make my own terrible versions.
Yeah.
And Power Rangers, was a big part of it. Again, though, didn't watch the show much, had the toys, and loved the
There's
toys.
a theme here, right?
Yeah. Toys and engineering, interlocking toys.
You say you don't have a good memory, so I'm going to ask that terrible question that actors are always asked.
Yeah.
How do you remember all those lines?
Oh, lines aren't a problem at all. But I have a very strange memory. I have very, very, very precise and heightened short-term memery, I think.
Right.
Where I can learn a script very, very fast, like surprisingly quick. I can learn a whole part in less than a week, really, quite quickly.
You're one of those
but then
annoying
it doesn't
actors.
stay, is the thing. Like, as soon as I'm done with the show, I've just come off a show that we did in the West End, and I've already forgotten all of it. Like, it goes as soon as I don't need it anymore.
Sherlock Holmes, I think, once said that the brain is rather like a little attic, and you have to fill it with the furniture that you're actually going to need, and dispose of the furniture that you don't need.
Oh, that's quite nice.
So it's like one in, one out.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe it's that kind of
it's one in, one out with
scenario.
me.
So do you hold any old lines in your head from decades past?
Oh, all the old stuff, yes. But it's the new stuff I have problems with. I can quote you things I did 30 years ago.
Yeah.
But, not something I was doing last Christmas, yeah.
Some stuff stays with you. Do you remember did you have an audition piece that you used to do?
Yes.
Of course. What was yours?
Thou, nature, art my goddess.
Very good.
Edmund from King Lear.
Yeah.
Right.
I could probably make my way through most of that.
Right.
So let's talk about that then. So you trained, I think, went to Lambda, is that
That's right,
Where
yeah.
you met your sort of Mischief co-founders.
Yeah, exactly.
But were you always destined for the stage and the screen?
I think so. I think I resisted it for a long time because no one in my family is in any way entertainment industry related at all.
Yeah.
So it wasn't disapproved of, but it was seen as a sort of quirky, you like your little
You'll grow
acting
out of
thing
it.
on the side, but that's not a real thing. You're going to get a job at one point and be a real person. So I did actually train to be a nurse, bizarrely. I went to university, took a nursing degree, but I gave up after about 6 months. Because it just kind of crystallised for me that I didn't belong there at all. I was like, what am I doing? I need to go to drama school.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then, auditioned, got in, and it was fine from that point on.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a long time where I just was in denial, I think.
And Mischief, of course, is one of those very rare things, a fantastic British theatrical and TV success story. It is hellishly difficult, as I know you know, to make any, success or money in the world of theatre.
Yes.
But Mischief is huge.
Yeah.
A great success story and an export, really, now.
Absolutely, yeah. We're all over the world.
Yeah.
There's productions everywhere happening all the time. It's gone really well. I can't complain.
It's good to hear.
Yeah.
So how many sort of different countries have you personally travelled to for these shows?
To perform them?
Yeah.
Or,
in any capacity. Yeah.
Well, I've been to visit some shows in other countries. I've seen the French production of Play That Goes Wrong, which is called Le Faux British.
Oh, great.
And I think that's still running, actually. And we have a very good French partner who takes quite a few of our shows and puts them on French adaptations.
Yeah.
There's one in Russia. They're in Hungary. I think it's not on in Russia anymore, but there was.
Yeah.
Australia, New Zealand. It's all over the world.
And the conceit is always the same. Is it the Cornley
Polytechnic Drama Society.
Right.
When it's the play that goes wrong, we do have we have a lot of different plays, and there's a sort of strand that runs through them. It's the goes wrong, what we call the goes wrong plays.
Yes.
That are always the same conceit: an amateur dramatic company putting on a play, and everything going wrong. Then we do have others that we've branched out from that idea slightly and into the world of more traditional plays that are fourth wall comedies.
Great. Yeah, we, of course, were going to do the podcast that goes wrong. But it's too much work, wasn't it? Can we have the lights going out? Can we have the sound going down? No, let's just have an interview.
And also we have enough problems to deal with.
Now, a little later on, with your permission, we're going to be asking you to press that big red button that I know you've already noticed.
Everyone loves to.
They do, yeah.
They come in
to choose a random Gerry Anderson episode.
Okay.
To watch with us on a section of the podcast we like to call the Randomiser, if you're willing and able to do so.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. Okay, but not yet.
No.
Hold that thought.
I can't wait.
Because, first of all, let's have a little clip of, it's you in action from, I think, the 2015 Raw Variety performance. That's early days for Mischief, I think.
That is early days. This was kind of a big break for us, in a way.
Great.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at this.
We are thrilled to be presenting this piece because, as you can see, we have managed to secure a much larger budget than usual. So we will certainly be able to outshine our rather underfunded 2014 production of Roald Dahl's classic James and the Peach. Or last Christmas's The Lion and the Wardrobe. Or indeed our summer musical, Cat. Anyway, on to the main event. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for, not yet, for the murder at Haversham Manor.
Florence, I'm sorry you have to see him like this.
My fiancé. Are you sure he's dead, Thomas?
I'll take his pulse.
Charles gone. What a horror.
There's no question. He's passed away.
Now, so that's 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I mentioned to you earlier that I went to see the show only a couple of weeks ago because I had a friend in it. I guess consistency is really key, isn't it? You know, I saw the same show that I might have seen 10 years ago. I'm not saying that in a bad way, but that's exactly what you want, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It has to be really precise, and we are very... We're very consistent, I like to think, and our casts are very, very good at recreating the same show that we did way back then.
Yeah.
It's really interesting to watch back. I haven't seen that in a very long time.
Really?
What's interesting about that opening speech where I'm doing all the little jokes to the audience is I really vividly remember being the most terrified I've ever been in my entire life during that speech. Yeah. On that stage at the Royal Albert Hall. I was so scared. I was sweating buckets. Yeah. And I had spent the whole day because the way it works with the Royal Variety is you have to turn up early in the day and then wait all day to do the show. And you can't leave the building because it's sort of security and stuff. So I was downstairs in a little dressing room for about 9 hours just rehearsing that speech over and over and over and over again, so terrified I was going to mess it up. It was so bad to do that as an actor. The worst thing you can possibly do.
Absolutely, to work yourself up.
Yeah, I'd worked myself up so much, and I was like, my mind was kind of boggled, genuinely. I've never been more scared in my life.
Because it's just you and the audience in those moments, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's so much pressure. Yes. You get one crack at it, you know, all the royals are watching.
And if the laughs don't come, no place to hide, is there?
Absolutely terrifying.
So how did Mischief start? What's the origin story?
Origin story of Mischief. It really, I think, starts with two teachers we had at Lambda, who were Adam Megiddo and Mark Bell. Adam taught us improv, and Mark taught us clowning. And though we were in different years at Lambda, we were separated by 2 or 3 years, everyone in the company. Yeah. And we all had the same training from those two men. And they really laid the basis for what would go on to be everything we've done since then.
Right.
That specific type of performance and clowning in what's called the Lecoq sense. Lecoq, and it's based in the sort of medieval form of clowning. And what we now recognise from things like Mr. Bean, things like that. You know, clowning, not like circus clowning, a different kind of thing.
Yes.
That laid the foundation for it, and we actually started out as an improv company at Lambda. Going up to the Fringe every year with our improv show, which we still do occasionally. And then when we came out of drama school, none of us had any work, and we couldn't get any work because it's really hard. And so we thought we'd write something, and that became The Play That Goes Wrong.
Ah, wow. Yeah. Gosh. In its fully fledged form, from the off? Or?
No, far from it.
Right.
The first version of The Play That Goes Wrong was about 45 minutes long, and it had a lot of the same material that you see now, basically the first 45 minutes of the show, but it was much rougher, and it went through a very long gestation period. I think it took about 18 months probably from the first performance through multiple different productions to get to where it is now.
Right.
So we were constantly rewriting on the road, and still when we got into the West End we were still rewriting. So it took a long time to get to where it is.
Because I'd have to imagine that you're making this play that goes wrong, but you don't have room to make mistakes, like genuine mistakes.
That's the irony.
It is really precise. Yeah, it is incredibly precise. And you have to be quite mechanical about it. It's a mechanical play. And actually the thing that we say about it is that privately, which I'm now going to say on a podcast,
excellent,
is that it's not a particularly good play in that it does one thing, and it does that one thing really, really well. In that it is just jokes, beginning to end. It's just a very long list of jokes.
So many jokes.
And I think that's kind of what is the brilliance of it, is that the simplicity of it. We do one thing, and we're going to do that. We're going to hit that bell 1,000,000 times until you are just worn down by it. But the issue is if you miss a punchline, if you drop the ball for a second, if a joke doesn't land, there's nothing underneath it. There's nothing to fall back on. There's no story. There's no real character depth or anything like that. So you have to be incredibly precise, because we've had times, we don't so much anymore because we're pretty good at it now, but we've had times in the early days where the ball was dropped, where things didn't land, didn't work, and it's amazing how quickly that show falls to pieces if you don't hit every single beat.
But also, it's a very technical show as well, The Play That Goes Wrong in particular, in that I mean, any one of those lines or jokes is also a cue for umpteen things to happen with the set and the lighting.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of health and safety involved there, I think. I won't give the game away, but it's calamitous by the end of the play.
Yes. I can say that the end of the play, the walls fall down.
Yeah.
Is one of the big bits.
Yeah.
And actually, on our first night on tour in Canterbury, the first time we'd ever done the 2-act version of the show where we had these big walls that collapsed, we'd sort of doubled the size of everything. One of them landed on me because I didn't get out of the way in time because we were getting used to it, and it just completely wiped me out at the end of the show. Gosh. And it was absolute panic. The producers thought they killed me. Fortunately, it just kind of gave me a knock on the head, and I went flat like a pancake. And it didn't do much damage, and I was able to crawl out and just go, keep going, and get to the end of the show. But we had a couple of near misses.
Meanwhile, you've got a whole auditorium of people laughing.
They thought it was brilliant.
Of course,
the director gets wiped out.
Now, who knew there was such a big crossover between Gerry Anderson fans and fans of Mischief?
Yeah,
but there really is.
That's lovely.
So we have lots of questions here. From our viewers and listeners. So reach in there, take a good handful, like half a dozen or so.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And we'll do it in 2 lots.
Okay.
Yeah, that's perfect. And we'll come back to some more later if that's all right.
Absolutely.
So if you want to read out some of those questions and, answer them, I suppose.
Oh, God, this is quite a hard one.
Good.
From Alex Patrick.
Oh, yeah.
Dear Mr. Shields, nice and formal.
Very formal.
What do you think is the ultimate essence of comedy?
Come on, then. Tell us now.
Just quickly explain the essence of comedy. I do think about this a lot.
Of course you do.
We had a lot of conversations about it. I think, as kind of simple as it is, I think the ultimate essence of comedy is surprise. I think that it's just the thing that you weren't expecting. And it's as simple as that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
I can elaborate on that a little bit.
Yeah,
it's a surprise. But it's just surprise. It's just something coming that you weren't expecting.
Do you quibble over lines, punchlines? I mean, there's some clips from
endlessly.
Blackadder when they were recording or rehearsing Blackadder rather in the early days, and they've still got the scripts and they're working their way through trying to work out what's funny, and they literally spend half an hour on one word, which probably ends up to be bibble or something. Yeah. But are you that?
Oh yeah,
pernickety.
Yeah. Every single tiny little element, you're looking at it constantly. Especially with these shows that run for years at a time, you have all the time in the world to think about it.
Yeah.
And especially when you're on stage, the play that goes wrong. I've done, I think, over 1,500 performances, which is a long time to spend during that play. And by performance 1,000, you're not really thinking about the play anymore.
Yeah.
You have a lot of time in your head to analyse.
Yeah.
So every single tiny word, every line, every little bit of it has been looked at over and over and over and over. Yeah.
Another question?
Oh yeah. From John Stock.
Oh yes.
Hello, Henry. Thanks for coming on.
Oh, I think we've already said that. Haven't we? But
you're welcome.
John. Saying again.
Yeah.
If you did a Thunderbirds play that went wrong, apart from those being rescued dying, what else would go wrong?
Yeah, okay. Yes.
Well, obviously, you've taken the best joke from me, John. Apart from those being rescued dying.
Yeah.
I mean, a Thunderbirds play that went wrong, it would be fun, but you'd have to do it. It would have to be a show that goes wrong rather than a play. You'd have to do it on TV format.
I guess so. Although there was a Thunderbirds stage show.
Was there?
There was. And I know that because I was in it.
Yeah.
1996.
Presumably just humans, not
just humans.
You weren't marionetted.
Two-man show.
Which would be a really fun way of doing it.
Walking like we were marionetted.
Were you?
Yeah, absolutely. We did the whole Thunderbirds
You had to do
walk.
the whole thing like
that was part of the gag. And doing the whole, turning leaving the eyes behind and all that sort of stuff.
That sounds really good.
Hats on their heads to simulate the vehicles. So there would be a Thunderbird 2 hat.
Oh, wow.
And you'd be...
Yeah. But it started
excellent.
at the Fringe, didn't it?
I think it did, yes.
Yeah.
We did to the West End and Oxford.
Oh, great. Well, that sounds a lot of fun.
Yes.
I mean, I suppose you could do it as a play. You've already done it as a play. So.
Been there and done it. There you go.
You could do a very fun Goes Wrong TV version of Thunderbirds.
I think you could, couldn't you, with strings getting tangled? I mean, that's
obviously.
Of course it is.
And, or one getting cut, one person with a dead arm, flapping around. Oh, tons of stuff.
Well, I think ITV hold the rights, so that's where you need to go.
Yeah, I'll take that job.
Another question.
Yep.
Keep them coming.
Andrew Clements. Hi, Henry. What's been the most technically complex sequence you've worked on so far? And did the finished result meet your expectations? Ooh, that's an interesting question. There have been a lot of very, very complex things. In the show we'd just done, a comedy about spies, which we'd just done the West End, there was a bit in that where the version we ended up with was really good, but the one that I wanted was better.
Oh.
I couldn't do it.
Couldn't be done.
So the idea was, not much of a spoiler,
that
there's a big part of the show that's set on 2 levels. You're sort of looking at cross-section of a hotel. You're seeing 4 rooms. And what we wanted was someone to fall through the floor, which is what happened. In the end, a guy at a certain point steps through and smashes through a hole in the floor and lands on a bed below.
Yeah.
It is very funny and very impressive.
Yeah.
The original version I wanted that proved to be too technically difficult was that he would fall sort of more like a pencil all the way down and fall horizontal onto the bed, and the bed would actually be a trampoline that was hidden to look like a bed.
Yes.
And he'd bounce off it and go straight back up
Okay.
through the hole and land where he started, which would have been amazing.
Absolutely.
And annoyingly, we really nearly did it. And it wasn't the trampoline that was the problem. The problem was the size of the hole in the floor you had to have.
Yeah.
Because there just wasn't enough space. And we had to have a gigantic hole that we then couldn't do the rest of the scene around. Really disappointing, because it would have been amazing to have that, to have someone, fall from real height and then bounce all the way back up. And again, a huge surprise, which is the essence of comedy.
As we've learned.
Yeah.
So you tried it, though? I mean, you got as far as trying it, or did you...
We didn't get that because the hole in the floor, we got as far as the planning stage where we spoke to the designer and, everything was fine. He had the plans for the trampoline. It was all going to go ahead, and then no room.
But I think very often, I mean, it's a bit like Thunderbirds and Stingray. All these shows were almost mini movies. They reached high, but maybe didn't reach the stars, as it were. But it's a similar idea, isn't it? In your mind, you reach as high as you can, and then you come up against reality.
Exactly,
and scale
that's
it back,
the
but you
entire
still
writing
got
process for
pretty
us.
high.
We always aim really high, and then the designer comes in and tells us no,
can't do that.
Yeah, can't do any of these things.
Yeah.
We obey the laws of physics.
Exactly. More questions.
From Emily Davies. What has been the best production so far, and which one is your favourite?
Oh, God, right. That's a bit of a...
Hard to pick favourite.
Yes.
I genuinely do think that the one we've just done is the best.
Do you always think that, though?
Maybe. No, actually not always. Sometimes I think the one we just did, I'm glad it's over. But no, Comedy About Spies, I think we really hit a high point.
Right.
It is the most ambitious show we've ever done.
Yeah.
And almost everything that we set out to do worked, which is rare. You hope for a good hit rate. But we spent a good 4 years writing this one. And we really put so much time into the early stages of it that almost everything paid off the way we wanted it to. We ended up with a show that I'm so incredibly proud of, incredibly funny, a really good story, and actually it just went well, which is lovely, where we just sold a lot of tickets, people really loved it, the reviews were all very kind, and it looks like there's going to be a future life for it. So, great. And I particularly love it because we're 10 years deep now.
Yes.
And this is the point where everyone's looking at us to go, how are you going to fail?
Well, is that,
Where's it going to end?
Is that, so I was about to ask, is that a curse as well as a blessing? People, not necessarily looking for you to fail, but to top the last thing that you did. Are you conscious of that?
I think there's a bit of that. But I think if we were hitting the same note, there would be sort of diminishing returns.
Yeah.
And that would be disappointing, but people would expect it and be fine with it. I do get the sense, particularly from the reviewers, that they are looking for a fall.
Well, because you're a success story.
We're a success story, and a success story is really fun to report on and talk about while it's succeeding. And then what's next? Well, we need to have the inevitable fall. So you do see a lot of that. I've noticed that a lot of our reviews have become more reluctant. So they're still good, but they're like, amazingly, they've pulled it out of the bag, they've scraped the barrel and found something at the bottom. That sort of vibe. And that's the way of it.
The worst I always hate is when they say, well, the people around me seem to be having a whale of a time.
Yeah, you get that all the time.
Well, yes, that's the point.
Yes, those people, those audience members.
Exactly.
Audience members will love this, but otherwise, don't go.
Ridiculous. 2 more, I think.
Two more,
Come on.
I have grabbed quite a handful. Okay.
That's all right. It's more to come later.
Steve Bushell.
Oh, yes.
I love your shows, very unique and creative. Thanks, Steve. Do you get your ideas from any events that have personally happened to you? A little.
Yeah.
A little. Maybe in the early days. We've had to broaden our horizons a little since then.
Yeah.
There was one particular bit in the play that goes wrong that was based on true life, in Peter Pan Goes Wrong, which was the second show we did, where Henry Lewis, who's my co-writer and is in a lot of shows, his character, he plays Nana the dog in Peter Pan, and he gets stuck in the dog flap.
Right.
And remains there for a good sort of 10, 15 minutes of the show doing his part just from the dog flap. And that is based on a true life incident where he got locked out of his house and so tried to climb in through the dog flap and got stuck. And genuinely was in there for hours.
Excellent.
Not minutes, hours.
Brilliant.
Stuck halfway through a dog flap. It started to rain. There was nothing he could do.
Nice.
He was like trying to Columbo his way out, fashioning like a bit, using his t-shirt to try and drag the phone closer. None of it worked. He had to wait for his mum to come and get him out.
I thought you were going to mention one of my favourite moments from the play that goes wrong. Actually, is when the actors get caught in that dialogue loop.
The loop.
And I thought, well, that's bound to happen
that
for real at
that
some
has
point.
happened. I remember one incident at drama school where that exact thing happened with me.
hilarious.
I'd seen a duologue between me and another girl at drama school.
Yeah.
Emily was her name.
Yeah.
She was great. But we were doing a piece for an audience, and we did at one point jump back a couple of pages and then just do the same scene again, looking slightly confused. But it was quite a dense scene, as I remember, so I don't think the audience really noticed. They were just like, oh, this is interesting, sort of Pinterest vibe. Yeah.
And the last one,
question from Rich Goodborn.
Yes.
Which character from Thunderbirds would Dennis Bean and Chris Bean be perfect playing? I wish I could answer you, Rich, but my knowledge of Thunderbirds is so poor that all I can say is...
That one.
I don't know. That one looks a bit like a kind of Dennis.
Yes, okay, so that's Parker, I think, isn't it? From Thunderbirds? Lady Penelope and Parker was kind of you might remember the posh, the duo.
Yeah.
Lady Penelope.
Yeah, he looks like a bit of a Dennis, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know him well enough.
That'll do. Now, when people mention Gerry Anderson, as you have done, their thoughts kind of tend to go to the super marination stuff like Thunderbirds and Stingray. But being born in 1988, you were around, Henry, while Gerry was still producing TV shows.
Right.
Most famous for the stuff he made in the 60s and perhaps 70s, but he was actually quite prolific and working into the 2000s. So here's a clip of something that you might remember from 1995.
The odds are low.
Yeah, let's have a look at this.
It's the most expensive series made for British television. Described as a cross between NYPD Blue and Star Wars. A sort of Hill Street Blues meets Star Trek. Taggart, Morse and Frost have a new rival, and his beat is outer space. The real stars of the show, however, are the aliens. And the word is that Anderson has worked his magic again. Space Precinct begins March the 18th on Sky One.
Excellent.
Ring any bells?
No, I don't. I can't say it does, other than I know that you were.
Well, only because we had a conversation in the lift on the way up. Yes, that's right. Yeah, I was one of the aliens. Yeah.
I love that they describe it there as a sort of Hill Street Blues in space. I've never heard it described as sort of before.
It looks great.
So this was sort of a kind of return to the big time for Gerry Anderson, really, I think it's fair to say. After some years in the wilderness and producing lower budget things, suddenly there was this massive thing that basically didn't launch Sky One, but they used it as part of their launch publicity back in the early days, when it was B Sky B, I think.
Yeah.
So 1994, 1995, a kind of cops and robbers in space.
Yeah.
You would have been 7.
Yeah.
I think it was BBC 2, 6 o'clock during the week
The
at some
following
point.
year, when I was 6 o'clock.
Clearly made no impact at all.
I think probably BBC Two. I think at 6 o'clock I was probably watching The Simpsons most
Fair
nights.
enough.
Channel 4.
Space Precinct
maybe.
would have been after that.
Yeah, well,
Most likely,
there you
Lots
go.
of cool toys, so you know,
Weren't
that's
that good
normally
toys?
an angle for you.
I mean, and clearly the aliens were the star of the show.
Well,
So,
as the
you.
voiceover
Yeah.
said. So it must be true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's go back to Mischief. So Mischief started in the theatre, but pretty soon became a TV property as well with the Christmas specials.
Yep.
And then the Goes Wrong show.
That's right.
Was that an easy process, transferring the kind of conceit to the screen?
No,
or?
really difficult. Really difficult process. I think there was a lot of figuring it out because it's such a specific style. And such a theatrical style. Figuring out how to get that on TV was tough. In the end, we've having made some trial and error, we found out that just doing it basically like a theatre show is the best way.
Sure.
Essentially, live studio audience, multicam setup, and just play.
Kind of old-fashioned in a way.
Quite
old-fashioned TV entertainment.
Exactly, yeah. Sort of Morecambe and Wisey kind of feel to it, that sort of vibe.
And was the Goes Wrong show in front of a live audience?
Yeah.
Really?
Almost all of it. There was a bit during lockdown where we were filming and we had to beam it to an audience in a cinema that we weren't in, that sort of thing, and then record their response. That was a bit trickier.
And so when you were writing for TV, you have to make certain considerations?
Yeah, I think that at first it was just really exciting to be writing for TV, and it gave us a whole new language of things to play with.
Like just like the technical camera work and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. There's a new actor involved. You know? The camera is a new player that you can do all kinds of fun stuff with. There's a particular episode that my favourite one is called The Pilot. but it's not the pilot episode. And there's a whole sequence in that where Nancy and Charlie are playing a pair of sort of World War II officers. And there's a whole sequence where Nancy's getting changed, and she's a woman, she's playing a man. So we use the cameras with her and the mirror to sort of suggest that she has a man's body. So she goes and looks at herself in the mirror, opens her shirt, and then we have an actual man behind the mirror that is revealed, and it's a genuine male torso. And it's all stuff that you could only do with a camera. It's really, really fun sequence. You can find it on YouTube. So things like that were great fun. But then as the series went on, what was really frustrating is that because we hit COVID, we just kept running out of money. And the costs kept spiraling up because we were filming during COVID, so you had all these extra costs came up. Sort of 20% of the budget went on that. And so that by the time we got to the end of the second series, we were just being told, you have to make an episode that works with no set. And then it became, you have to make 2 episodes work with no set. So that's kind of what happens. I think we made a good show of it. But the last bit of season 2, it's 2 episodes that are black box theatre. It's literally us in an empty warehouse, in a sound studio with little bits of props and stuff, and doing a different style. We make it part of the show, but it was just budget constraints, which is really unfortunate.
Was that the last series as well? So a shame to leave it on that note, really. I guess
a little bit. I mean, I love a lot of it. And I think we found some really fun stuff.
You really did.
Episodes, but having seen, having been on the other side of it, I can just feel that's the bit where we had no choice. That's the bit where we had to put this bit in because we couldn't afford to do the thing we really wanted to do, which is unfortunate.
But technically, if I may say, it's so audacious. A lot of it. I mean, we're going to show a clip now, which is like, imagine filming this.
Wow. Sure is hot today.
It's 90 degrees outside.
It's 90 degrees in here, too. Can you feel it?
I sure can.
Perhaps I can pour you some iced tea.
Please. Thank you. It's good stuff.
Melinda made it.
Almost as good as your mama used to make.
I sure wish she was here now. She'd know just what to say to Pa. Sugar?
Yes, please. Always did have a sweet tooth.
Can I get you some more ice?
Oh, just a couple of cubes.
That's right. You sure drank that fast. Can I get you a refill?
No.
I mean, it's difficult without having the context at the beginning to work out exactly what's going on there.
And not great for audio listeners.
Sure. Well, they better head to YouTube, watch it on video.
You can find it on YouTube. That's the episode called 90 Degrees, and that's genuinely, we have a set that is built on its side. Everything's happening at height. People are all wired in, and the people who are sat at the other end of the table in the scene are a good 20 feet in the air. Everyone's on wires and strapped in. We just did it.
And the idea is, of course, that for you as characters, this has come as a huge surprise to you.
Because the builders have made a mistake.
There we go.
There's been an error. They've built things, an error with the plan, something got turned around. And so, but then we put all the cameras on their side, so to an audience watching it looks like you're just watching a normal scene, but gravity is in the wrong place.
I mean, how much rehearsal do you have for, I guess, so if you're doing it in front of a live audience, you have like an afternoon to shoot it in front of that audience, but do you have 3 or 4 days before rehearsal?
We always had 2 cracks at them.
Right, I see.
So we do, we do everything in front of a live audience, but we do everything through twice. Every scene gets done twice.
I see,
and then emergency pickups if you need to. But because you've got a live audience, you can't do it more than that. You can't put them through it. You can't take hours and hours and hours.
So that strikes me as being the best work. Actors very often like live theatre, performing in theatre, because you have that immediate connection with the audience, and which you don't get in TV. But of course, doing TV in front of a live audience is the best of all worlds as a performer, I would think. Or is it a whole other level of pain?
Oh, it was great. It was so much fun. I really loved every second. It was a real joy to create, and things like that. I mean, amazing that we had the that someone allowed us to do these
Yeah,
things.
right, yes.
That we had the support to do it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, things like that were also the show's downfall, because as great as it is, it was so expensive.
Right.
Because every week we were making a new set.
Yes.
Which is vastly, no show does that,
No.
for very good reason. They are so expensive to make. So the budget just spiraled out of control,
Right.
and that meant that it limited what we could do. And as I say, by season 2 we ran out of money.
Yeah.
But I'm very proud of what we were able to make, and things like that episode that you just never see anywhere else on TV, that kind of thing happening.
And I guess it's kind of self-feeding, is it? I mean, that obviously raised the profile of the theatre shows. I mean, did you notice, people then went to see the plays because they'd seen the TV show and so on? And
Exactly, and it's kind of gone from strength to strength now. And our show, I mean, fingers crossed, touch wood and everything, but the show's still selling brilliantly.
Yeah.
And no end in sight.
Yes,
at least.
no end in sight.
Do you ever find that you've got like people trying their own version of that? Because as someone who hasn't seen the show, I get the feeling that someone might look at that and go, "Oh, that's a great idea. I could do that."
Yeah, we've had it occasionally. Now and then a show crops up sort of in Edinburgh or off West End. The thing is, even though I've maybe badmouthed it a little bit in this by saying how simple it is, they are incredibly difficult to get right.
Yeah.
It looks so easy to do, and we've had a lot of people watch the show and then go, "God, you should do this and this and this. Here's some ideas for you."
Yeah, great.
And of course, but the thing is, we're not short of ideas.
Yes.
It's easy to come up with the ideas. Actually making it sustain and making each beat land, like it takes a huge amount of work and dedication and experience to do.
Yeah.
So I'm not really worried about anyone coming along and doing it better, because
Yeah.
I mean, it's so
Good luck to
hard.
them.
Good luck to
Yeah.
them. And genuinely, I would like that. I
Yeah.
would like it if someone came along and did it better.
Yes.
That would be fun, because that would force us to up our game.
Yeah, yeah.
But so far, I don't think
No
anything's
one's done
really.
it better.
No one's touched it yet.
Here we are. Take those last questions out of there, Henry. And
All of them?
Yeah, go on. Let's
Questions.
clear the lot of them.
It is a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, shall I just get into this?
Yeah, dive in.
This is from Simpsons clips.
Oh, yes.
Sure. I write comedy myself, and I've often thought Thunderbirds would be a prime fodder for a Goes Wrong show, but I wondered what you think.
Oh.
We've kind of covered that.
Yes, there we go. Yeah.
It would be good. It would be good as a TV version.
Yeah.
And, if anyone wants to make season 3 of the Goes Wrong show...
I mean, that could have been a contender, couldn't it?
Could have been.
As an
And
episode.
It would be really funny.
Yeah.
We didn't think of that at all.
No, but yeah.
It would be good. Obviously, you'd have to use puppets, so
Yeah.
we wouldn't be in it, really.
Yeah.
We'd be voicing it. But it would be a very clever way of cutting the budget. If you
It
only
really
have
would.
to do miniature models and marionettes.
But have you ever considered any other sort of show that goes wrong, say like an EastEnders that goes wrong, or other genres?
Yeah, it's kind of popped up. I mean, we did Peter Pan.
Yeah.
That was the second show we've done, and that's one of the only ones we've done that's based on an existing IP.
Right.
We're currently working on Christmas Carol Goes Wrong, based on the Dickens novel.
Yeah.
The problem is it's actually much, much harder to do when it's based on an existing thing.
Because then I guess you're trying to squeeze in what makes mischief onto an existing property rather than building it around.
You don't have the freedom to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
When we're making something up from scratch, you can manipulate the story in whatever way you need it to go. And just go, well, this is the funniest thing, so we'll make this happen.
Yes.
But if you're doing Peter Pan, you can't do that. You have to have a scene with Captain Hook and the pirates, even if you have no ideas for what that scene should be. And even if, I know from having done it, if you look through the original play in the book of what happens, it's bizarre. There's some very strange scenes in that story.
Right.
There's a whole scene where Captain Hook is trying to poison the Lost Boys by giving them a cake that's too moist, because he says, as all people know, a moist cake will sit in your belly if you eat it and kill you.
Right.
Bizarre.
Okay, let's leave that out.
Really, yeah. So we did leave that out.
Yeah.
But then what are you left with? You have to hit that beat. You have to have that scene, but you've got nothing to go on.
But then
You're
people
kind of
walk out saying,
constrained.
what was that stuff about the cake?
Yeah, exactly.
What was
No
that?
one has-
That wasn't in the Disney version.
Yeah, it's an original story. We didn't do that.
Yeah.
So you have, it constrains you in that way. So we tend not to do the existing IP.
Yes.
thing. I say that we're about to do one.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. But apart from that,
apart from that.
there's always an exception that proves the rule.
Exactly. Yeah. Hello, Henry. Hope you're having a fab time on the podcast.
Oh.
I am. Thanks, Ray.
I thought just checking in, see how things are going.
Yeah.
That's nice, isn't it?
Do you have a favourite stunt or scene you've written or performed? Favourite stunt or scene? There's been a lot. I really enjoyed in the Goes Wrong show. There's a whole routine. There was a whole routine with a guy being a horse, where he has a big paper mache horse head, and he's playing a horse, and there's just a very stupid back and forth. It's not a stunt. It's just a ridiculous routine where I'm trying to feed the horse oats and he doesn't understand. And then he goes to eat with the horse's head, and there's a vacuum cleaner inside the mouth so that it can suck up all the oats.
Right.
Which is a bit that I like because it didn't go wrong. It's just stupid.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, a stupid decision they made. And then the vacuum cleaner gets put on blow, and he sprays all the oats in there.
Great. How do you divvy up the writing then? As a...
We tend not to divvy it up. We did try that once with one of our shows, Comedy About a Bank Robbery, which is a show that we did back in 2017.
Yeah.
That's the first time we experimented with the three of us as writers taking a scene each. We'll go away, we'll write them, we'll come back together and put it all together. And it didn't work. Because we spent a long time doing that, came back together, nothing worked, nothing merged, there were no jokes that fed through. And we then spent a couple of months undoing all that work. How do we make all this actually work together? So now we tend to just write only when we're all together in the same room, working on one computer, and we pass it back and forth, basically.
Right. Yeah. And you get up and kind of pace things out?
So, one person's typing, the other two are knocking ideas about, and then you sort of trade around, and you just chat and see funny stuff comes out.
Nice. I mean, it's interesting because there's always, every generation has a kind of an emergence like this. I'm talking Monty Python and League of Gentlemen, and I think Mischief are absolutely in that same category.
Oh, that's very nice.
It's just this sudden breakthrough of an idea from a particular group of people that just takes the world by storm.
It's amazing. I mean, it's so great to be part of it and to be riding that wave. I'm looking forward to the next generation coming along with it, though. I'm waiting.
There will be someone. There'll be someone somewhere. Absolutely right,
Although I don't know. I have a theory that potentially, because the upcoming generation are so much more focused on TikTok and things like that, and short clips and online comedy that is really, really brief. I think there just aren't as many people focused on making long form shows in the way that there has been up until now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see what comes out. But I feel like comedy's going to morph into something else.
Yeah.
Potentially.
You could be right.
Maybe.
We're starting to get a bit depressed now.
It is.
I don't like the sound of that. Yeah.
This is from Terry Adlam. I went to a comedy of Spies earlier this year. It was actually called a comedy about Spies.
Get it right.
I get it. I get what you're aiming
Come
for.
on. Maybe he went to see a completely different show.
I like this message a lot. Wonderful stuff. Laughed until I stopped.
Hey, I mean, well, that's true, isn't it?
Yeah, you laugh until you stop.
There you
laughing.
go.
I hope that every audience member has that experience. When are you and the team going to do the next TV series, as they were hilarious? The original showing of Peter Pan on BBC on New Year's Eve made me late for a New Year's Eve party, but it was worth it.
Oh,
thanks, Terry.
Okay.
Well, I'd love to make more TV. We definitely would be up for doing it.
You have to wait, I guess. You have to wait to be asked. Is that how it works?
We have to wait to be asked because someone's got to put the money behind it. Is the problem, and a channel's got to find a space for us.
Yeah.
We were having a great time. As I say, it was sadly just financial.
Yeah.
That was the only reason it stopped. There were a lot of people watching, a lot of people really enjoying it, but it's too much money to sustain.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of ideas for TV. We're actually pitching multiple TV shows. Of course, every writer is pitching multiple TV shows. So we have a lot of things, sort of irons in the fire, but we wait and see and wait until someone takes one. Yeah. We'd love to do more Goes Wrong show. If there's a mad billionaire out there who wants to fund it, please get in touch.
Would you say there are any shows or films that kind of influenced the Goes Wrong world?
Yeah, shows and films that influenced. I mean, it is its own very particular thing.
Do you know the Michael Green course acting?
The Michael Green course acting books are the origins of it.
Yeah.
Certainly for us, because Michael Green, for those who don't know, he wrote this book called The Art of Course Acting, which is, you can look at it now as lots of mini Goes Wrong plays. They're all sort of 10 minutes long, and they're just, for stage, little play Goes Wrong things. More sketchy than long form as we've done it. But my co-writer, Henry Lewis, actually trained under Michael Green and took some classes with him and stuff, and did some write your own Goes Wrong things back in the day. Yeah. And one of those that he wrote became the origins of the play that goes wrong. It became the first 5 pages of the play that goes wrong, which is a murder mystery in a manor house, which he wrote. And that was the inspiration for us to go, well, this is really funny, let's turn this into a whole show. So that's definitely the origins of it, Michael Green.
But then, of course, you couldn't have been possibly thinking 10 years' time, this is going to be a worldwide hit, and we'll have shows under our belt, and awards coming out of our ears. And
we were just thinking we're all bored, we're all working minimum wage jobs, and we are desperate to do anything acting related because we come out of drama school and it's dry. So we were just doing what we loved, and fortunately it's worked out for us.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Next one.
Yep, just a few more.
Andy Isderman.
Yes.
I hope that's your name, Andy. Has anything really gone wrong whilst the play was actually taking place?
Yes.
Well, we've touched on it a little bit, but multiple things have gone wrong. I've talked about how I got wiped out by a falling flat. But other things, we've had a guy dislocate his shoulder on stage in the smallest, silliest way. That's the way it tends to be. We're obviously very safety conscious with our shows because there's a lot of dangerous stuff going on. Things are flying, people are falling, and we also actually have rules about stopping the show. Because obviously we're in a show where everything's going wrong, people are constantly saying, "Oh God, stop! No, don't want to do this."
Right, of course.
So, and you have to ignore that and keep going.
Wow,
so we
safety
have
words.
Yeah, we have a special safety word which
you?
I can't say because if I say it, someone in the audience will shout it out. But if anyone shouts that, the whole thing comes to a grinding halt immediately. But there have been a few things. Someone, in the silliest way, he did a dive that he'd done 1,000 times, a dive into a forward roll. There was a cushion in the way. His hand went on the cushion, slipped, dislocated shoulder. The same guy dislocated his other shoulder later in the play that goes wrong, holding up painting on the wall, just held it wrong, and the shoulder went out. Someone broke their foot, again, just doing a little hop in a dance move. They broke their foot.
I mean, I have to say, that these are the sort of things that can happen in any play.
Well,
this is not just specific to because you're...
We've got our eyes on everything so closely that you can't stop someone just tripping over.
No, absolutely.
That stuff happens all the time. So little things like that have gone wrong, unfortunately. And then there's been occasionally funny stuff that's gone wrong. We had one show on tour when we were doing Play That Goes Wrong, its first tour. Where were we? Oh, maybe it was at the Rose Kingston, I think.
Yes, nice.
Where there was a power outage in the whole borough, I think, midway through the show. So everything just went off. And then 10 seconds later, everything came back on again. All the lights came back on. But their light system was this high-tech, super advanced thing where when you booted it up, it ran through a program of every different possible light it could do. And so we just went, darkness for a bit. And then, are we going to stop? Oh no, the lights have come back on. And then just a disco happened. Flashing lights, all the colours of the rainbow flying, all these spotlights going everywhere. And we just stood kind of, what is happening?
What do we do?
And again, the audience were just laughing. Going, oh, what a great meta joke. And we we had no idea what was going on. We thought that, aliens are coming and taking over. Bizarre. So, stuff happens.
Yeah, it does indeed.
Then we have Robert Monk, last one. How much practice do you have to do for a show, and how much goes wrong before it actually goes wrong?
Okay, so what's the rehearsal period like for
the rehearsal period? Well, as you can imagine, it's exhaustive. We do a lot of rehearsal. This most recent show we've done, Comedy About Spies, we did a 5-week workshop. This is after 4 years of writing the thing and multiple rewrites. We did a 5-week closed workshop that was on a sort of a very pared down version of the set to try everything out.
Is this just amongst yourselves still?
We did some invited audiences of sort of 50 public, and we did a few of those to test the material. And that's partly because, who doesn't mind me saying this, our producer Kenny really didn't believe in the show. And he believed in us, which is to his credit. He really has always supported us hugely, and he could tell that we really loved it. And we were like, this is a great script, you've got to trust us. But he just couldn't see it. And he couldn't get his head around this. It sounds too wild and too ambitious. So he agreed to fund this massive workshop to get a basic version of it up and put it in front of an audience and say, does it actually work, or is it a massive mistake? And it cost him, £250,000, something like that, just to do that workshop. It put us £250,000 in the hole before we'd even started charging anyone for tickets. But it was worth it, because at the end of the workshop, he finally got to see, it does work. It is good, even though it was a very reduced version. And a lot of the time I was sort of standing up and saying, and now imagine this is happening. And now I'm flying and I'm actually climbing down an elevator shaft. Imagine that. But we managed to sell it and get an audience to enjoy the whole thing and come at the other side saying, this is going to be great. And then we went into rehearsals and had 5 weeks rehearsals, which is a very long rehearsal period. Usually rehearsals for a new player, 3 weeks, maybe 2 to 3 weeks. So we have way more than that. Then 2 weeks of tech in the theatre.
Yes, okay.
It's a very tech-heavy show.
Yeah.
So, massive gestation, but totally worth it. And I think we made one of the best shows we've ever done, my favourite show that we've ever done, just through all of that groundwork. And I'm so very grateful to our producer for having trusted us and supported us and been willing to put so much money and faith into this wild idea that he actually didn't believe in. I think it's to his credit that he, despite not liking it and not getting it, carried on in the trust us.
Because a lot of producers would absolutely balk at the idea of having a 2-week technical period, because in that 2 weeks there's a fully staffed theatre that is not taking any money.
It's very expensive.
You're just shelling out wages.
And I can tell you, it was also, even that 2 weeks wasn't enough.
Sure.
And we ended up with spending, I think, about £100,000 on overtime. Because we just had to go on into the night sometimes to get it done, and had to come and do extra days.
Yeah.
But it was worth it.
Yeah.
And ultimately, we made all that money back.
Yeah.
So thank God we did.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, we mentioned earlier how Gerry's career actually started in the 50s and all the way through to, what was the last... 2006, I think?
2005.
2005, okay.
So,
in your earlier years, you might have been cognizant of a few things going on, but let's fast forward then to 2005, a new Captain Scarlet.
Yes, indeed.
See if this rings any bells at all.
2068.
Meteor strike. Scarlet, come on.
20 years since man first set foot on the Red Planet. Join Captain Scarlet and his crew in their cutting-edge combat vehicles as they face all new villains.
This isn't my way home, you idiot. I'm cutting short your life.
Get ready for the ultimate adventure in outer space. Gerry Anderson's new Captain Scarlet.
So, a revisit. I saw you look at the chap behind you there.
Yeah, he's looming over me.
Exactly. So that's the original Captain Scarlet from the 1960s, which was Super Marination and the puppets, rather like Thunderbirds. Came immediately after Thunderbirds.
Yep, 67.
And this was a revisit of the same characters, but with the benefit then in 2005 of CGI, which is not quite in its infancy, but this is really pushing the boundaries.
Yeah, I love the CGI in that. It's very, very sort of video game cutscene looking thing I would recognise from that time.
And I think one of the first series to kind of capitalise on motion capture. So people doing the stuff for real in a studio against a green screen and all that.
I love the narration on that. It's very serious and everything's so cool.
That's great.
Shown on Saturday mornings?
It was shown on Saturday mornings as part of something called Ministry of Mayhem. Which
I remember Ministry of Mayhem.
Okay,
I did watch that.
Yeah.
So the show never got like its own time slot. It was shown as part of that, and that's ultimately one of the main reasons it kind of disappeared without trace, unfortunately, because it both premiered as part of that, but then didn't have its own premieres. So
and it was chopped up into two parts.
It was chopped up into 2 parts as well. They chopped the credits off.
Shown out of wrong sequence and all sorts of things.
But you remember Ministry of Mayhem?
I do remember Ministry of Mayhem. This was 2005, you said?
Yeah.
That's so I was, what was I, 17? By that point? That's, I had a girlfriend by that point.
Of course.
I was not doing any watching of TV. I was spending all my day.
We don't need to. But that's interesting, isn't it? So that that's an example of a TV property that was treated pretty poorly.
Yeah.
Were you in charge, or did you have any control with the Goes Wrong show about scheduling and when it was going to be shown and so on? Did you have any input at all? Or?
No, that was a particular point. Of an irksome point for me is that in the first series, we had good relationships with the BBC and with our producers, and they would listen to us to a degree.
Yeah.
But they made the decision with our first series to switch the order of broadcast. And we had, right at the last minute, we had done everything. We planned these 6 episodes, and we had it all kind of. There was a thread running through them. And then they said the last episode, which was the Christmas special. They said, you know what, we really love this episode, so what we're going to do is we're going to put that one first. We're going to move the whole broadcast back a few months, so it starts with the Christmas special and then runs through January, February, March, which I really didn't like. I was very disappointed because actually there was stuff in that last episode, that Christmas special, that was quite specifically written to be the culmination of you've watched us for all this time.
It's like a reward,
And now the characters are going mad because all of their plays have failed and everyone's hating them. And it's all supposed to be a real downer. And actually the joke was that the first episode was the pilot, which I mentioned.
Yeah.
And it's called the pilot, though it wasn't the pilot episode, though it was the pilot episode. That was the whole gag. And that was supposed to go out first. And I think we probably would have had a bit more traction if that had gone out first. Unfortunately, those decisions were out of our hands.
Absolutely.
And it's not a big problem because it went fine in the end and people watched it anyway.
Yes.
But I did think it was weird to start with a Christmas special.
Yes. Another similar thing to the Anderson shows in that they were made in a certain order and then they were broadcast However,
strange, isn't it?
In fact, with new Captain Scarlet they had a final episode that more or less tied up the story.
Yeah.
And ITV showed that as the penultimate episode. So the following week, what they showed last was like business as usual.
It's bizarre.
Yes.
Some producer just, you do all the groundwork, you do all the writing, you plan this whole beautiful arc out, and then a producer goes, that one's my favourite.
Hang on, that doesn't make it your favourite.
We did
It doesn't make any
written
sense.
a story here. So if anyone wants to watch The Goes Wrong show, I think it's on iPlayer still, or Amazon, I think you can get it. But if you do, start with the pilot, not the pilot.
Yes,
that's episode 1. Leave the Christmas special to the end. I don't know what order it's put out now.
Then there's no physical release. Then it's not on DVD or Blu-ray.
On DVD as well.
Well, is there an opportunity to watch it in production order on the physical release?
I don't know. I've never actually sat and checked, but I hope that you can watch it in production order. It should be.
Well, now we know. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, so we've discussed your rather limited Gerry Anderson knowledge, so we're going to put it to the test a little bit here. Because, of course, I had to have a section of the podcast called Gerry Anderson Goes Wrong. Of course I did. So I've got 3 photographs here from Gerry Anderson Productions, each of which has a little mistake in it.
Okay.
That's all. That's the best I could do.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not bad, is it? It's all right. So let's have a look at this and see if you can spot the deliberate mistakes.
Okay, so that's Captain Scarlet.
Good.
With a Thunderbirds vehicle, which does not belong.
That's right.
I'm with you.
This is from the opening credits to Thunderbirds. That's
Yeah,
right. So
yeah.
would have been a picture of this chap, Virgil Tracy here, who's the pilot of Thunderbird 2. Yeah, Captain Scarlet. Yeah. Next one.
Great.
This one's a little bit more difficult, but also a little bit more obvious.
Is that?
Well, certainly all our viewers will be...
Yes, jumping up and down, pointing at the screen.
Yes.
Just have to think about it. See if it makes any sense at all.
The spacecraft on the left here is actually a television aerial that's being repurposed. It's not a spacecraft.
I mean, that's almost right, yeah. So these are 2 different spacecraft from 2 different series, essentially.
I see.
Yeah, so the main one there that's from UFO, and the little one in the corner there is an Eagle from Space 1999.
There's a stylistic difference you can see.
Yes, that's true, there is, yeah. Space 1999 was a massive sort of production, big, shiny, almost a Hollywood production, shot at Pinewood Studios. Martin Landau and Barbara Bain, his then wife, in the leads, playing the commander of a moon base, and the moon is blasted out of the Earth's orbit due to a nuclear accident and goes roaming around the galaxy with hilarious consequences.
Yeah.
And finally, let's see if you can see what I've done here.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Henry Lewis has arrived.
Henry Lewis has arrived, quite obviously. This, then, is a still from one of the few live-action shows and one of the only shows that isn't sci-fi in any way, a Gerry Anderson production, called The Protectors.
Okay, great.
Which is sort of an espionage thriller series.
Yeah, kind of whatever they felt like they wanted to do that week.
Yeah. Robert Vaughan, you can see there on the right-hand side. That's the main character, main actor. Yeah, there we go. Just thought that would be fun.
It's lovely.
Yeah, thank you very much. Talking of fun.
Yeah.
As if it couldn't get any more.
I know. I think it's about time, Henry, we asked you to press the big red button and choose, wait for it, choose an episode from the Randomiser. Chris, would you like to just explain to us what the Randomiser is?
Well, the Randomiser is a wonderful machine that's got every Gerry Anderson episode and feature film, all, I think, 550 of them, ever made in it. And by pushing that button, you will produce the name of a single episode, which we will watch with you.
Whether you like it or not.
Whether you like it or not, yes. Whether we like it or not as well.
Yeah, well, yeah. So if you could just hold the button up so we can see it in this camera. Yes. Give us a little countdown if you would, Henry, and press the big red button.
5, 4,
Excellent.
3,
We like it when this happens.
1.
Good. Excellent. Right, let's see what you've chosen on the Randomiser. So this is each one of the title cards. Yeah, so many of them. So where it will stop, we don't know. There's Thunderbirds gone. Captain Scarlet gone.
Oh, we've missed them.
Yes. We're still going.
It's not stopping.
Into the 70s, into the 80s. So many.
Are these chronological? Oh, great. We get to see a bit of your work.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait.
Oh, God, this is going to be embarrassing, isn't it? Yeah,
I can say, before this podcast, I did look up a couple of things you've done.
Right.
And I saw a bit of you in Sir Gadabout.
Sir Gadabout. Oh,
yeah.
do you remember that?
I do. I remember watching that a bit, yeah.
The most fun I've ever had, ever.
I'd be much better on a podcast about you than I would about Gerry Anderson.
We could make that happen.
Yeah.
I mean, we're literally here tomorrow again, so if you're free, you could pop back. We could do that. Yeah, so Space Precinct. Tell us a little bit about Space Precinct, Chris.
Well, Space Precinct was made in 1994, and it involves the officers of Precinct 88, who are patrolling Demeter City, keeping the streets safe from baddies and drug dealers and organ leggers and
As
such.
you do.
As you do,
And it's got a score of 6.4 on IMDb. And if we just look here, I've got a couple of reviews that really sum it up. Super show, says someone, saying Gerry Anderson has created a terrific cop show in space. The first few episodes establish the characters and setting. Then the show takes off with great stories and super effects. But, for every yin, there's also a yang. How did this make it on the air? This is the worst sci-fi show ever. Hill Street Blues meets Flash Gordon. It's even worse than the hackneyed UK TV show UFO, and way worse than The Invaders. Oh. But
whoever got this thing on the air had to be the biggest con artist ever. Well, that's
I didn't want to read that out. I didn't want to read that out, but you just did. But that's fine. Now, before we sit down and watch an episode of Space Precinct,
we've very polarising Space Precinct,
as we discovered. We've got a little one of these before we get there.
Now, time for FAB Facts.
So, Space Precinct had quite a lengthy journey to get to the screen, starting in 1986 with a one-off pilot episode called Space Police, featuring Shane Rimmer, we all love Shane Rimmer, voice of Scott Tracy in Thunderbirds, as Lieutenant Chuck Brogan, who was a New York cop transferred to serve on the police force of an alien planet, Alatorp. And there's Shane Rimmer. Do you recognise Shane at all from anything?
I don't, but he looks thrilled to be there.
He does, as indeed does everyone in that show. When it failed to be picked up as a series, Gerry Anderson placed the idea firmly on the shelf until 1991, when he made a trailer for another proposed iteration of the series, featuring state-of-the-art animatronic creature and mask effects, and although it was only 5 minutes long, it succeeded in securing the funds to make a full series. And so, in 1994, Space Police entered production at Pinewood Studios as Space Precinct, featuring Ted Shackelford as a younger Patrick Brogan and a whole cast of alien creatures, including this guy.
That's true.
Are you in this photo?
No, I'm not in that photo. No.
What kind of alien were you in this? Was it full mask?
Well, you'll see, won't you?
I can't wait though.
I'll point me out.
Yeah.
There we go.
But where were you that day? Were you just not asked, or were you?
I'd probably just not asked. Maybe I just wasn't in that day.
To deal with Lou Hirsch.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But then, yes,
this happened.
New from Lego Space Police. The intergalactic bank has been robbed. Build your Space Police cruiser. Blast off at hyperspeed. Chase down the space crook. And stop him in his tracks. In space, crime doesn't pay. Freeze, mister. The new collection from Lego Space Police. Each set sold separately.
Yes, Lego got there first, so Space Police had to change its name to Space Precinct.
Oh, there we go. I think probably the only example of a TV show having to change its name because of an already existing line of merchandise.
Right.
Possibly. Yes.
Yeah.
I certainly remembered Top Cat having to change its name in the UK to, is it Boss Cat?
That's right.
Because
you remember Top Cat?
I do remember Top Cat,
yeah. TC, but...
Yes.
Boss Cat.
Boss Cat.
They had Boss Cat.
Re-record everything. So
no, strangely, they kept all the dialogue. So in the show, he was still called Top Cat or TC, but the credits, Boss Cat. Because there was a range of cat food, I think, called Top Cat.
Right. Interesting.
That's right. It's true. I hadn't thought of that. Now, Henry, just before we say goodbye, what's coming up for Mischief?
So we have, as I've mentioned, a new show called A Christmas Carol Goes Wrong. That's a stage show. It's going to be opening at the Lowry in Manchester on the 2nd of November.
Nice.
And then it's going on a UK tour and stopping in London for 8 weeks over Christmas at the Apollo Theatre.
Oh, great.
So you can get tickets and all the information on the Mischief website, mischiefcomedy.com.
Marvellous.
Yeah.
Stick with us, if you will, because next time we will be joined by Henry Shields to watch an episode of Space Precinct. But in the meantime, we're going to be joined by Gerry Anderson for the Voice of the Podsterons.
This is the Voice of the Podsterons.
Yes, it's the Voice of the Podsterons.
Ooh, very happy to drop in for.
Yes, nice to see you, Jamie. How are things?
We've travelled back in time.
Don't say that. That's why you're overcomplicating it.
Well, I mean, I just don't clean my clothes, that's all.
Yeah, we don't.
As well, you know. Yes, it's lovely to be.
Yes.
Lovely.
So this is your opportunity, wonderful Podsterons, to get in touch at podcast@gerryanderson.com. We might read out some of your emails. Chris, would you like to start?
Yes, I've got one here from David Barry, who says, Hi guys!
Oh, that takes me back.
Oh,
yeah, you still got it, Chris.
Oh, I love that sounds.
Some weeks ago, an auction house in Waterford, Ireland held a classic car auction.
Right.
Lot number 1 was a Model T Ford. It was estimated to sell at between 20,000 to 40,000, but on the day struggled to meet its reserve of 14,000.
Oh, right.
It set me thinking, does anyone, probably Chris, know what car was used in the filming of The Secret Service and where it is now?
Oh, Gabriel, you mean?
Gabriel.
Yes.
Yeah, he's quick, this boy,
Yeah.
isn't he?
Oh,
He's been learning.
Yeah.
I couldn't afford the Model T, but I did pick up a couple of signs, including a very nice Chevrolet service dealership sign. FAB, PWR, SIG, and that's from David Barry. Well, the car from the Secret Service, we do know where that is, don't we? Because
we did know where it was.
We did know where it was. Oh, right, I see. Because it was at the first Andercon.
We haven't had any updates. Yes, it was at a car dealership. I can't remember where it was. Or
in Ireland?
No, in the UK. I want to say Surrey somewhere. And they very kindly brought it along and put it on display for the first Andercon. I think they might still own it. I don't know. We could probably find out.
Should we club together and...
Can you have it?
Yeah.
We'll drive it around Slough.
Yeah, just imagine you.
I'd love that.
Well, because it's got it crosses over Anderson and Doctor Who, doesn't it? So
yes.
they're doing your Pertwee, yeah.
What's that?
With the horn. That was the horn.
Oh, that was it. I thought it was a crab or something. Just turned up out of the blue. Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
This, of course, is Alex in Suffolk, who says, I've been enjoying the Thunderbirds Super Space Theatre box set recently.
Quite right, too.
Ah, yes.
Thank you for all your work on it. Well, it wasn't me, Alex in Suffolk. I had nothing to do with it. Yeah. Having watched the closing credits of Countdown to Disaster, I have to ask, is Brains really Howdy Doody's son?
Over to you,
Brains
Chris.
is as much Howdy Doody's son as Troy loves phones. Yes, several jokes on the end credits and opening credits of Countdown to Disaster.
Yes. Okay.
Nothing more than that.
Alex also said, having watched Live Aid as a kid in the 80s, I was recently watching a highlights show that was broadcast for the legendary concert's anniversary. Right at the end of Nick Kershaw's awesome performance, I noticed a prominent and familiar Spectrum SIG sign in the crowd, and I thought of you chaps.
Oh, that's very nice. Me.
All the best, Alex in Suffolk. Well, no, you weren't around in 1984, were you? 85?
No. I mean, I was on the way, but...
Yeah, right, okay.
But speaking of Spectrum and speaking of the 80s, at the Museum of Brands, we saw a Captain Scarlet hat worn by...
Nick Rose.
Yes,
from Duran Duran.
Yes.
Right.
Very cool.
Yes, indeed. And one there for you, Jamie.
Oh, thank you.
It's all right.
Mine is from Daryl Smith.
Oh, that's nice, isn't it?
Daryl says, Hi.
Oh, hi.
So,
yes,
since watching Captain Scarlet as a child,
right.
I've always pondered those illustrations from the end credits. Well, haven't we all, Daryl?
Yes, lovely.
Beautiful art,
Thank you.
depicting real-world threats like snakes and sharks, seemingly not indicative of the sci-fi peril often depicted in the actual series. Recently, I had a thought.
Just the one?
Yes, it's quite a short one too.
Oh, good.
It's a bit dark.
Oh, we like dark.
Yeah, they are.
We have the lights up?
Darker the better.
Oh, I see.
Suppose there's some version of UFO's Dr. Jackson in the Scarlet universe. Suppose he worked for Spectrum, not Shadow. Could the end titles depict testing Jackson subjected Scarlet to when he first returned from the dead? Yes, you're right, that is a bit dark.
I like it, though.
Anyway,
I like
it's
it.
the thought. All the very best. From Daryl
it
Smith
light.
in Lincoln. Gosh, yes. I mean, I kind of love the idea of all those things that the Mysterons might expose Scarlet to, particularly the shark thing. I always thought that would be very cool.
Yes.
But tricky to actually do with supermarination.
Yeah.
Supermarination sharks or real baby sharks.
They did put a snake in a Joe 90 episode, and I think Supercar as well, possibly. But yeah, I do like the idea of Dr. Jackson running tests on Scarlet like that now. Just stay where you are. We drop the cases on you from great heights. Experiment number 4, I run you over with a tank.
I mean, I have toyed with the idea of approaching you, Jamie, with an idea of writing a Captain Scarlet book, which does actually... The story features those end images in one single
Or it could be a musical, different song for each page.
Okay.
I'm about to be run over by a tank.
Anyway,
it was going so well.
Yes, I think we'll leave it there for this month, but do get in touch, podcast@gerryanderson.com with your thoughts, and we'll read them out next time. Bye for now.
I've just been blown away immediately. That's such a good effect.
Can't see, can't hear.
Yeah.
And it could be like EastEnders or something.
Turns out the shackles were made of rubber. Oh, that's Ray Winston.
In a very small, revoiced speaking part.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's get started.
Let's go!
Spectrum is green.
That was an Anderson Entertainment production.